Hi, everybody. I'm Miss Barbara, and I'm happy to be with you again to share our Sunday lesson for this week. We are going to talk this week about expressing gratitude. Um, it's the season of gratitude, huh? Um, I wonder if you all are getting ready for Thanksgiving. I know it might look different this year, um, but it is still my favorite holiday. um, it's just a great time to reflect on all that we have to be grateful for in our lives. And there is so much, and just bringing our attention and awareness to it uh, is a gift for ourselves and our families. So happy almost Thanksgiving. And we will, let's see, let's begin with our affirmation. So our affirmation is I give thanks to every giver and to the one source of all that is. Would you say that with me two more times? I give thanks to every giver and to the one source of all that is. Last time. I give thanks to every giver and to the one source of all that is. So I'm going to start, if I can figure out, I'm going to start by sharing my screen to show you a picture of a balance scale because our story today involves a balance scale and not everybody probably knows what that is. So let me see if I can make this work. This is a picture of a balance scale. You got that in your mind? And then we are going to practice using our bodies as a balance scale. So that's what it looks like. You set items on each side to help weigh them or compare the weight of one to the other. So I'll stop sharing my screen. So one of the activities for this lesson is to use your body as a balance scale. So the lesson has you stand up, but I'm just going to do it sitting right here. So pretend my hands are those either side of that scale that we just saw. If you put, let's say, a can of beans on this side and a jelly bean on this side, the scale is going to do like that. It's going to tilt in the direction, in the direction on the side that the heavier thing is put on. So if I took off my can of beans from this side and put another jelly bean, so I have a jelly bean here and a jelly bean here, it's just going to be like this, even. If I put my can of beans back here and 3 cans of beans on this side, it's going to tilt that side. It's going to tilt to the side with the heaviest object. So I hope that makes sense and hopefully will help us all understand our story a little bit better. So our story today is called Deo Gratias. A long time ago in Ireland, there was a beloved saint named Patrick. He and his brother monks lived simply together in a monastery, and they spent their time teaching about God and helping people whenever they could. There was a rich chieftain named Connor who lived in the country near St. Patrick. He liked being powerful and important, and he wanted everyone around to know his name and admire him. He made a big show of helping the poor so people would talk about how generous he was and be grateful to him. The chieftain had been hearing a great deal about St. Patrick lately, and he was tired of it. He thought to himself, there must be a way to remind people how important I am and get the great St. Patrick to see that as well. He summoned his strongest servant and told his hunters to bring enough meat to feed 20 people. When the servants and the meat arrived, he said, take this meat to St. Patrick and tell him the great chieftain Connor has sent it and wishes to share it with the poor people. Remember, Remember all he says, and when you return, be sure to repeat every word of praise and gratitude here in front of everyone." Chieftain Connor waited anxiously all day, and when the servant finally returned, everyone was gathered to hear about St. Patrick's reaction. The servant appeared to be quite nervous, but dutifully told his master that the meat had been accepted and would be distributed to the poor by St. Patrick and the monks. Then the servant said very quietly, "When I told him the meat was a gift from you, Lord Connor, the saint lifted his eyes to heaven and said, 'Deo gratias.' That is all." "That is all he said?" exclaimed the chieftain with astonishment. "Apparently, the great St. Patrick doesn't understand how expensive that meat was. Go back to him with enough to feed 30 people. That will make him show more gratitude than just 2 words." The tired servant returned very late that night and reported to his master. This time, St. Patrick lifted his eyes to heaven and fell to his knees. He said, "Deo gratias," and then was silent. "I even asked the saint if there was another message for you, but he said nothing, my lord." Chieftain Connor was enraged. "I don't even know what those words mean. Bring me enough meat to feed 50 people. Take it and tell him I am awaiting his gratitude or else." The poor, exhausted servant did as he was told. When he returned to his master at dawn, he had only 2 words to report: "Deo gratias." Chieftain Connor strapped on his long sword and got on his horse. He fumed with anger as he rode to the small, humble monastery. He pounded on the door and demanded to see St. Patrick. When the saint appeared at the door, he didn't seem surprised to find the chieftain with his sword held high, ready to strike. "2 words are not enough thanks for all that expensive meat I gave you. You have one last chance to show me the proper respect and gratitude, monk," yelled Connor. St. Patrick calmly replied, "Those 2 words weigh more in the eyes of heaven than all your gifts, Chieftain Connor. I will show you." The chieftain was too astonished to protest as a large balance scale was brought out and all the meat he had given was placed on one side. Then the saint took a quill pen and wrote the 2 words on a piece of parchment, a piece of paper, and placed it on the other side of the scale. Meat, paper. Chieftain Connor and all who were there stared in amazement as the scale dipped down to the ground on the side that held the parchment. They knew it was a miracle. St. Patrick explained to all that the words "Deo gratias" meant "thanks be to God." The chieftain then understood that the miracle was for him. He had demanded all gratitude for himself, and he had forgotten that everything comes from God. It's a good story, huh? So we have a few short questions here that we can talk through. The first one reminds me that I forgot to read our Bible verse at the beginning like I meant to. So the first question is, do you think Patrick knew the Bible verse for this lesson, James 1:17? So that Bible verse says this: "Every generous act of giving with every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow due to change." Every generous act of giving is from above. So, do you think St. Patrick knew that verse? Have you ever felt bad when someone did not thank you for a gift? I have. I think I think the way that Chieftain Connor was acting is something that we can probably all relate to a little bit. I gave you something great, and I really, really expect, or in his case, demand that you show gratitude. It's understandable. What are some ways you can show gratitude? What are some ways you can show gratitude to people who give you things, and also to the spirit within all? There's some nice ideas in our lesson materials for today. One of them that was for the teachers, but I think you all could do it too if you like, is a gratitude journal. Is taking a few minutes every day to write down just a few, 3 to 5 things, people, or things that happened, something that you are grateful for that day. That's a great practice for every single day. I challenge you to try it and see how you feel. A few days of gratitude journaling always lift me up. And another one was to write a letter, not a text or email. It's the lesson said, a letter um, to somebody, and make it, doesn't have to be long, and doesn't have to have a lot of words even, but just saying thank you and helping somebody to feel special. So I liked those ideas, and I know that there are many, many more. And if we were together in the classroom, I bet you guys would have tons of great ideas for how we can show our gratitude to the people in our lives and to the spirit within all of us. So, with that, I think we should close out. Let's do our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. And the presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Oh, let's do one more thing. Okay. From your teachers here at Sunday School to you, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Love to you all. Until next time. Bye-bye.